about to catch up with Lachie Neale, a former opponent, a former teammate. He's pretty much done it all. He's won 2 Brownlows, he's won 5 B&Fs, and he's just an all-round nice guy. If I try to take him on in anything to do with football, he'll beat me. So while we're here in the tab pool room at the Gabba, I'm going to see what his pool game's like. Anyway, let's go and catch him. Hello, mate.
Hodgie, how are you?
Not too bad. I thought ahead of your 250th game, you might have a bit of a chat, but rather than go and do football skills, what do you like on the old man game?
Well, my granddad had pubs in England and spent a bit of time around them, so I'm okay. I won't talk myself up too much though. What about you? You all right?
I had a pool table at home, but haven't played for a long time, so we'll see.
Since yesterday?
Got a couple cues. No, you take that one.
You're not that much taller than me.
Well, I'll let you break. Let's go back to back in Adelaide. Growing up as a junior kid, what got you falling in love with football?
Grew up mainly on the farm in Kaiby. Fell in love with footy, watching my old man play. My stepdad was a Port Power supporter growing up. I started at 10 in the under-14s, and I'm not that tall now, as you just pointed out to me, not so subtly. I was way smaller even then, so 10 years old playing against under-14s, and started in the forward pocket and tried to snag a few goals from the big key forwards' feet. Love the game, like from a very early age.
Show us how you can break, mate.
All right, what's your rules here? Am I allowed to send it over there?
You can start however you want. It's your 250th coming up, mate.
All right.
You can make up the rules.
Geez, this one is small.
Do you want to start with the bigger one?
No, it's all right.
2011, draft day. Where were you on draft day? How'd you feel? Nervous leading up to it?
It was a great day, draft day, sitting at Timmy Lawrence's house, who he's been my manager all the way through. With him and current teammate of mine, give you one guess who that was.
Lincoln McCarthy.
Yeah, so Link was at Timmy's as well and had my family there. It was a pretty emotional night, hard work and years of, that's horrible. Years of sort of trying to get drafted, I suppose. It was my goal from probably 10 years old. All I wanted to do was play AFL, and that getting realised was pretty amazing. It was a special night.
From that, was a bit nervous, like living in South Australia, having to go all the way over to Fremantle, over in WA?
Not really, because I grew up in the country. I went to boarding school in year 10, so I'd sort of lived away from home for a few years already, and felt pretty comfortable.
That was a bit lucky.
Moving into state. Was that you? I might have to be pants down here around the table. In a way, I sort of wanted to move away and just focus on footy and get cracking into it. So yeah, I was stoked to get drafted over to Perth.
Who were the first players that sort of took you under the wing and taught you how to be an AFL player?
Probably the first one was Matthew Pavlich.
Not a bad person to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked up to him enormously, and he taught me the basics of professionalism really quick and took me under his wing, and got drafted with my best mate, Alex Forster, he was a first rounder. We both got drafted to Freo, and he's still my best mate now. Very fortunate. We both went over, both from SA, and Pav sort of took us under his wing, and I idolised him as a South Australian as well before going there, and learning off him was so good for my career. And there was a lot of great leaders though. We had David Mundy, Aaron Sandilands, Nathan Fyfe, Michael Barlow. Yeah, it was a great place to start my career. Oh,
kept it up. First game. Tell us about your first game. Who was it against? Were you nervous?
Yeah, first game was against St Kilda. Friday night, I think it was. First time Ross played his old side. So just left St Kilda to come and coach Freo. I came on about halfway through the third.
Yep.
So the game had sort of slowed down a bit. So I think we won by roughly 2 goals. Saints were not a bad side that year. On level pegging with them sort of most of the year, but it was round 4. So pretty early on, and got a win in my first game, which was pretty special.
My first recollections of you, we played down at Tassie.
Yeah.
We had a good system at Hawthorn. We used to always play all the WA teams and the Queensland teams down at Tasmania because it was too cold for them. And it worked pretty well, but you might have snagged a nice little goal in your 5th game.
Yeah, yep, early on. I think I got a Goal of the Year nomination from that.
You know you did.
I think it was a 1-2 with Pav, and then a 1-2 with Chris Main, I think. So got a couple of touches in the chain and then snapped one from the boundary. I think it was probably the 2nd quarter and we hadn't kicked one yet. So we were due to get on the board. Didn't beat you once in Tassie until I came to Brizzy.
Yep. And
then you would have been playing with us when we beat the Hawks in Tassie in 2019, I think.
Well, we'll continue on that theme. 2013 Grand Final.
Oh. Next question.
You're starting to really make a name for yourself as someone to watch out for. But I remember looking at you. You look like a little kid, and looked like you had a Backstreet Boy haircut.
Yeah, I had sort of the Harry Styles, long hair, big curly fro kind of thing going on for the first few years. Don't know what I was thinking, but I'm sure you've got a few haircuts that you look back on and wonder why you had that.
You regret a lot of them. Second year, first build up to your grand final, where everyone was talking about 3-hour favourites because you squashed Sydney in the prelim.
That was a cool experience, and being a part of Freo's first grand final in the history of their club. Obviously would have liked the result to go the other way. You've got 4 of them, so you could have bloody given me one, but I was the sub for that, for the prelim. But I played the first final, we beat Geelong in Geelong, and I thought I was a good shout to stay in that 21, but we had some great players on our list and got knocked back to the subs. I probably took it for granted, to be honest. Didn't get back to the grand final until last year, obviously, so learned a valuable lesson to try and make those days count and cherish them, and they're really hard to get to. Not for you, but for me, they've been hard to get to grand finals, and 10 years later, I got another chance, and unfortunately didn't get the ultimate prize, but I really sort of cherished and made sure I made lifetime long memories during that week. Hopefully I do get another shot and can win one.
Have your next shot, because you are a long way behind in this game of pool.
Am I? I'm not that far behind. I'm just setting myself up here.
Team-wise, didn't have the success, but personally you did. Had a couple of BNFs the next couple of years. Do you think you really fitted into the midfield at Fremantle?
Yeah, I think I was a little bit of a point of difference. We had some really big mids like Fifey, Dave Mundy, Nick Subin and myself were probably the 2 smaller midfielders that, for me, we had such great players that I sort of felt like the opposition didn't pay much attention to me, and why would you when you got Fife and Mundy running around? So I was able to sort of go under the radar and apply my trade with those guys, showing me midfield craft. I had Brett Kirk was my midfield coach, and I learned so much off him. He was, to be honest, he's probably been the most influential coach I've had in terms of my midfield craft. I
remember sitting here, it was the end of the 2018 season. I just finished my first season up here at Brisbane, and I remember sitting there with Greg Swan, and he goes, "We've got an A grader coming." And I went through and I reckon I had 20 guesses. He's like, nah. And he finally mentioned, he goes, "Oh, Lachie Neale's a big chance of coming." I almost fell off my seat. How'd you come to that decision to move away from such a 2-team town, a big obsessed football town, to come up to Brisbane? Wouldn't have been an easy decision.
No, it wasn't, and my wife and I sort of dwelled on spoke about the decision and tried to make the right call for us for a long time, and it wasn't easy. It was the right time in my career. I'd been at Freo for 7 years. I felt my midfield stuff would really complement the team, and they could complement my game as well and help me grow. I just felt that it was the right time to make a move.
Well, you mentioned Link McCarthy before. He was sitting on your couch when you got drafted. Man. That was a shocking shot.
I know. I'm just trying to make this conversation go longer. I'm enjoying it.
Don't worry, we can play more games afterwards. Especially if you beat me. I'm not letting you walk away from here, you winning. You get over your second year, things are going quite well. All of a sudden comes to Brownlow night, and you win your first Brownlow medal. You shouldn't have been nervous because you run by about 10 votes.
Being the favourite, it was quite weird. I was almost relieved to win it.
Yep.
Instead of excited. I probably feel like 2022 was the best season of my career. Won Brownlows in 23 and 20, but I felt 22 was probably where I played my best footy.
Oh, I gave you 2 shots, so you got one more.
Did you?
What's the best part about being a dad?
Best part, I think it's post-game, and oh my God, this is horrible. But I'm just setting them up nicely at the moment.
Good tactics.
I think after a game coming home, even if I don't see her if it's a night game, but waking up in the morning knowing that no matter if I've played well, played bad, we've won, we've lost, she's not going to change in her love, and energy rubs off on me straight away.
2022, you're sitting Brownlow night, so it's coming up to the last round. You and Touk Miller are even on top. Paddy Cripps is 1 behind you.
Yeah.
You get 1 vote in the last game to jump to the lead. What were your thoughts? Thinking, hopefully the umpires get it wrong and don't give Paddy...
Yeah, I knew he was going to... I thought he was going to pole 3.
So he had that game against Collingwood, MCG, where he had 30
dominated.
Yep.
Yeah. So I knew I needed 2 at least.
Yep.
And I think we got smacked by Melbourne. I probably didn't expect to pole, and I felt like I played all right, but we lost. So I snuck the 1 in, which was nice. But yeah, I sort of knew he was going to pole 3. I think I whispered to Jules, like, he's won it. Yeah, there was probably a couple of games earlier where I thought that I might pole and didn't, and that was when I knew Paddy was probably going to win it, but Took was obviously right up there as well. So yeah, it was a great count though. It was exciting.
It was for us, not so much for you guys in the room.
Yeah, it probably is more nerve-wracking that night, and I think 2020, I think I was really short odds, and I was just sort of relieved. 2022, I think I was favourite, and I was sort of like, oh, it's not a sure thing. But yeah, it is. It's. If you had said to me at the start of my career that for 3 or 4 years I'd finish in the top 3 of a Brownlow medal, I would have never have believed it.
Obviously a big individual year, 2022. Then all of a sudden you get named captain with Harris Andrews, have a really good year personally and also as a group. Oh, how did that drop? How was it captain and then your build up to the difference from your last grand final appearance?
Yeah.
You're a second year player. This one, you're the driver, you're the captain leading into a grand final. How were you feeling that week leading into it?
To be honest, one of my absolute career highlights has been able to lead the group with Harris, and it was a real learning curve for me as captain, and I probably don't have too many years left in the game, so just trying to fast track those skills and become the best teammate and captain that I can be in a short amount of time. Hadn't been in there, like you said, for 10 years, so it sort of felt like I was doing it for the first time again. To be honest, felt like I didn't quite hold up my end of the bargain, and hopefully get another chance to redeem myself and the team and the footy club, and get a premiership for this club before I finish.
Oh, we're still going now, 2024, leading into the 250th. What have been some of your personal and team highlights? What are some of the memories that really stick in your head that you've really enjoyed while you've been an AFL player?
To be honest, I love playing footy, and being able to play AFL is something that I'll always remember, and just trying to soak in and enjoy every game because it doesn't last forever. And then I think just finals as well. I've been very lucky the last 5 years to be able to play finals footy, and I played 13, 14, 15 at Freo, and those games sort of give me goosebumps talking about them. The Richmond one out here, elimination a couple of years ago, was amazing. Out the G against Melbourne, and then the prelim against Carlton last year. There are probably a few that come to mind really quickly. 250
games, you must have had some amazing teammates. Who's been your best teammate along the journey and why?
Josh Dunkley, the things that he does on field. I love Link McCarthy as a team, and I think he does a lot of hard work that people probably don't see on TV. And a similar guy at Freo was Nick Subin, a bloke who's just played his 100th, Brendan Starcevic. So I've been lucky enough to play with some ultimate team men in my time, and you need them to make finals and be a successful team.
This is the longest game of pool I've ever played. Who's been the best, hardest team in your experience that you played against?
You asking that because you want me to say your Hawks?
Just throwing it out there.
Your Hawthorn team in that 2012 to 15, 16 era, we couldn't beat them. That was the hardest team I reckon I've played against. And then Richmond, probably when I first came to Brizzy, we struggled to beat Richmond, and probably Melbourne for a period of time as well. And now we've had some great battles against both those sides and been able to even up the ledger a little bit. So probably those three in my time, I reckon.
Here we go, you're putting me to the sword here.
Oh, catching you.
Oh, you set it up too.
That. Oh.
What's one final highlight from your career? And what do you want to achieve by the time you finish your career in 4, 5, 6 years?
Oh, get in somewhere.
I hope one of the targets is to learn to play better pool.
Yes, you and me both by the looks of it. Being named captain of a footy club, yeah, I feel really privileged to be able to do that. Well done, mate. You've got me. And what was the second part of that question? Oh, it's something to achieve, a premiership. I feel like been close a couple of times and haven't been able to do it, but if I can get one by the time I finish, it would sort of really cap off my career and something that's missing on my resume that I'd love to tick off.
On the eve of the 250th game, it's been great to play against you for one. It's been amazing to play with you as a teammate. It's been next level to beat you in a game of pool, but mate, you've given us so much highlights to watch, and we know there's going to be so much footy in front of you, mate. So good luck for the 250th. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
Appreciate it. Let's get it.
Got another game?
Sure, let's do it.
Tab. We're on.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.